Hey man, say man, Eddie Hearn gives the entire update on what's going on behind the scenes with William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson. Is the fight gonna happen? Well, I'm gonna let y'all hear exactly what Eddie had to say about the whole situation. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook on it. So here we go again. The whole Shakur Stevenson William Zepeda saga continues. And it's been a whole mess because William Zepeda and his team, mainly Oscar De La Hoya, don't want to fight. That's why Oscar jumped out, soon as he could, and said that Shakur Stevenson pulled out the fight, which was false. We found out that Shakur was having a problem with Turkey saying that he was going to pay him a number, and then Turkey scaling back on that number, going way, way back on what he said he was going to pay him, and told him he could no longer pay him that number, right? Or Shakur's problem was that he said Turkey didn't even come to him personally. He had his men come to him and tell him, like, this is the number we got for you now. We ain't gonna pay you the number that we said we was gonna pay you before. We gonna pay you this number. And Shakur like, nah, y'all said y'all was gonna pay me a number. Stick to what y'all said y'all was gonna pay me. Of course, you got the haters making up all type of false narratives and lies. But Eddie Hearn, he came and spoke on the whole situation. And this is what Eddie had to say on the reason why Turkey scaled back on the number that he was going to pay Shakur Stevenson initially for the fight. Let's hear what Eddie had to say. Make sure that y'all smash the like button. Quit sitting in the background watching the videos, hating, and refusing to smash the like button just because you're a hater, but you want to hear what I got to say. Smash the like button, it's free. But anyway, here's what Eddie Hearn had to say about the whole situation.
Look, it's a bit of a sticky one because we were looking to do 2 fights in Saudi. One was the first fight. Originally, it was going to be Cordina. Shakur was injured. Then it was going to be Schofield. Then it ended up being Padley. And then we were going to do the Zepeda fight. Obviously, timing-wise, there's now not going to be a show in Saudi in summer. So there has been conversations about a potential fight with Shakur and Zepeda. But financially, it's different because it's not in Saudi. So right now, there's no agreement on that fight. One thing's for sure, Shakur Stevenson is the champion. He ain't stepping away from that fight. There's only one person that can step away from that fight, and that's Zepeda. But I don't believe he will step away from that fight. So today, I had a very positive conversation with Eric Gomez from Golden Boy, and we will be going to Dazn to say, let's make Shakur Stevenson against Zepeda happen. It's one of the best fights in the sport, and we'll have that conversation with Dazn this week. Obviously, we're at the benefit of Eric Gomez and Oscar are with Dazn, we're with Dazn. Let's make the fight happen. It's a great fight. I said to Eric, maybe we could look at some kind of match from Golden Boy 5v5 on the undercard as well. And let's do a huge show. So that's what we're pushing for at the moment. And from our side, 100%, Shakur Stevenson against Zepeda will be next.
What's happening with your 5v5 with Warren?
So basically, there you go. You heard it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. So let me break this down for you, right? For those who don't know, this fight was originally supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia, right? We know that Turkey, he paying fighters that big bag when they fight in his country. So initially, Turkey offered Shakur Stevenson a huge bag for the William Zepeda fight because it was supposed to be in Saudi. Now it can't be in Saudi because William Zepeda, man, William Zepeda and Oscar De La Hoya, man, they continued to duck. Now the fight is pushed out and it has to happen at a much later date than it was originally supposed to happen, along with Shakur Stevenson getting injured. But Shakur Stevenson getting injured really don't have nothing to do with anything because they were still supposed to fight in February. Y'all forget, it wasn't supposed to be Floyd Schofield fighting Shakur Stevenson in February, which he didn't even fight because he pulled out of the fight, right? It was supposed to be William Zepeda, but William Zepeda, he ducked and said, okay, well, he can't fight in February because he having a baby, right? And then he came and said, well, I can't fight because I'm injured. And then he turned around and fought a couple weeks after February date that they were supposed to fight. So William Zepeda clearly ducked, right? The first time he ducked and fought Tevin Farmer, then he fought Tevin Farmer again. You see what I'm saying? So the fight was originally supposed to take place on that February 22nd card. And that's when, you know, Shakur was going to get that big bag. But he did get the big bag, but he had to fight Josh Padley, a replacement, right? So now he's like, well, you still promised me a huge bag versus William Zepeda, but now Turkey like, well, that fight ain't gonna happen when it was supposed to happen, right? And everybody know the fight was supposed to happen in Saudi. So I'm not gonna pay you the same amount for the fight to take place in the US. And so, man, I understand both sides. I understand where Turkey's coming from. I understand where Shakur's coming from, right? Turkey got to understand when you give a man your word, that's what they're going to expect. And then Shakur got to understand that sometimes things change, right? If the fight was going to happen in Saudi originally, now the dates got pushed back because, you know, of everything that's happened in between. Well, you got to understand they're not going to pay the same amount in the U.S. for the fight. Because, yeah, Shakur has a name in the U.S., but William Zepeda ain't selling shit in the U.S., so maybe he don't want to take that chance, and you know, it is what it is, right? But also, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, what's Shakur gonna do now? It's going to purse bid. First of all, Shakur's the one that wanted to go to purse bid once he found out that he wasn't gonna get the amount of money. And now people saying, well, what if he get less doing purse bid? Well, that's his problem. You heard Eddie Hearn tell you that he ain't pulling out the fight. It's only one fighter that can pull out the fight, and that's William Zepeda. Shakur Stevenson is the champion. That's what everybody's forgetting. He is the WBC champion. William Zepeda ain't even never fought for a title. So if William Zepeda want to be a champion, this is his chance. If he pull out the fight, he's the duck. Why is everybody putting this on Shakur Stevenson? It's going to purse bid. If William Zepeda pull out the fight, well, he's the duck. Shakur say he ain't pulling out the fight. Now, if Shakur pulls out the fight, Shakur gets stripped of the WBC championship. It is what it is. So who gonna be the duck? Whoever pull out this fight is gonna be the duck. And Eddie Hearn had said clearly that Shakur ain't pulling out. So now what they're gonna do is they're gonna go to Dazn, like Eddie Hearn said, and they're gonna try to see how much Dazn is willing to bid on the fight, right? They gonna try to get Dazn to bid a big bag on the fight so they can have a huge card. Simple as that. But I still don't think Oscar De La Hoya wants this fight. He don't believe that William Zepeda can beat Shakur Stevenson. William Zepeda is a fighter at lightweight that he was trying to build to be in a huge mega fight with a Gervonta Davis, right? And it ain't gone so well recently. They expected William to run through Tevin Farmer and look spectacular. It didn't happen. Neither time. It ain't happened. So now, you know what I'm saying, him using Shakur name to build a hype behind William Zepeda, yeah, he's done that. He's been able to do that, but William Zepeda ain't been able to uphold his end of the bargain. And Oscar know that. And Oscar not going to put him in there to take an L, right, by Shakur Stevenson. And then now what do? Right? You can't build all the hype behind him that you was building before, right? He's a knockout artist, and he's this, and he's that, and he's the next guy. You can't build him like that no more. You know, and we know the boxing game is a dirty business, man. And the way a lot of these fighters, these promoters build these fighters is going around the best competition and cheating their way into a mega fight. Edgar Berlanga. Going around all the best competition and cheating your way into a mega pay-per-view fight. That's what he was trying to do with William Zepeda. And, you know, Shakur Stevenson ain't the one to get in the ring with if you trying to go that route, because you definitely gonna take a L. But anyway, let's see if this fight take place. Let's see if William Zepeda, right, goes through with the purse bid and he don't pull out. Let's see. But if William Zepeda pull out of this purse bid, hey, don't, or if it goes to purse bid, because I think they got until like May the 6th and then it'll go to purse bid, but they got until then to get a deal, right? But if William Zepeda pull out of this whole thing, right, don't try to flip it on Shakur Stevenson just because you hate me. You feel me? But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.